Hello, my name is Floyd Rumohr, Chief Executive Officer, Brooklyn Community Pride Center. And it is my great pleasure to share some recent accomplishments, challenges, and opportunities in this 2021 State of the Organization briefing for our stakeholders. We all know by now how difficult the year has been, but I'm thrilled to tell you that the State of Brooklyn Community Pride Center is strong. I couldn't be more proud of the staff, board, and volunteers who have kept our doors open throughout the last year, have adapted to new and unusual ways of doing familiar things, and who helped drive us forward into a new era for LGBTQ+ Brooklyn. The most important thing about our organization that I can tell you is that Brooklyn Community Pride Center is financially solvent. Thanks to our responsible management of funds entrusted to us, incredibly generous support by people like you, and a great deal of foresight from our board and management, we ended our last fiscal year with an 8-month cash reserve, some of which is being strategically invested to strengthen the organization and ensure our long-term success. It is time for us to focus on operations, program development, and building even stronger relationships in our community, because the second most important thing about Brooklyn Community Pride Center in 2021 is, after years and years of planning, negotiating, fundraising, and project management, we are opening our new headquarters in Crown Heights. Our new state-of-the-art headquarters comprises the entire ground floor of the newly renovated Bedford Union Armory, now renamed Major R. Owens Health and Wellness Community Center. The Major R. Owens Center features a swimming pool, basketball courts, multi-purpose soccer fields, a fitness center, dance studios, and much more, all operated by other organizations we look forward to partnering with. Our Bed-Stuy facility at Restoration Plaza will continue to welcome drop-in visitors 5 days a week and will be home to services like our Workforce Development Program, Pride Pantry for people experiencing homelessness or housing insecurity, and numerous support groups and volunteer-led activities. We want everyone in the community to feel like our Bed-Stuy location is comfortable and safe to drop in, hang out, relax, and find new services or hobbies. With this physical expansion, we have established broader conceptual directions at our HQ that feature a collaborative workspace in the general style of WeWork. Our new headquarters is a place to come in if you want to get something done. We have public and private workspaces where one person or groups of people can reserve time to accomplish great things. Of course, our new headquarters in Crown Heights is serving other purposes as well. In the first year, we will build out programs and services focused on the health and wellness of LGBTQ Brooklynites. The first of these takes the form of a partnership with Callan Lord. I don't need to tell you that as the nation's oldest health practice with a focus on LGBTQ+ patients, Callan Lord is the most respected name in LGBTQ+ health. We are so proud to work with them to open a behavioral health service alongside us. In addition to Callan Lord Behavioral Health Services, we look forward to creating opportunities to work on physical fitness using the Major R. Owens Community Center's numerous sports facilities. We will also offer new or expanded emotional support groups for dealing with topics including addiction, gender identity, grief or stress, racial inequality, and so much more. And with both Crown Heights and Bed-Stuy continuing to lead the state in new HIV infections, we plan to expand our efforts to reduce the spread of the disease and to reduce stigma for those already living with HIV/AIDS. Of course, as a community center, first and foremost, we'll continue to have a wide variety of community-inspired, community-driven, and community-led activities and groups at both locations. I said a few moments ago that we entered fiscal year 2021 with a surplus, and that it was time to invest that money. Well, operating 2 sites has increased costs. We're not just paying on 2 locations, we have new costs in utilities, technology, insurance, supplies, security, maintenance, and a lot more. We've been preparing for this, but the biggest new cost is going to come in the form of staffing. Plainly put, we need to hire more people, and that's a lot more expensive than the rent and all those other costs combined. Currently, we have 4 full-time staff and a handful of part-time staff. When combined with interns and volunteers, we have enough people to operate 2 locations 5 days a week in accordance with our safety and security policies, as long as no one gets sick or takes a lengthy vacation. We're not just hiring for the sake of having more people. Our priority hiring plan will allow us to strategically staff up while also bringing in important skills that will help us grow toward our 3-year vision. Among the first of those priorities include additional hires in development, programs, and operations. So, even though we started this fiscal year with a surplus, we are going to need your help now as much as ever. Our fiscal year 2021 budget strategically projects a deficit that we expect to be retired in FY 2023. But I am not worried. I know that we can count on the LGBTQ+ community of Brooklyn and beyond to support us and see us through this crucial stage of our growth and strategic investment. Why would you support us? Well, I'm delighted to tell you about the impact we continue to have on LGBTQ Brooklynites. While our full annual report with final numbers on the last fiscal year will be out soon, I can tell you that in fiscal year 2021, we hosted 1,156 in-person or virtual activities, almost all of them open to the public. Because our hours were limited by COVID-19 and we could not safely host group activities within our space, our in-person visitors to the center included about 200 unique individuals across 550 visits throughout the year, a dramatic reduction in traffic from previous years. But across all contact points, virtual and in-person, we recorded a total of 12,033 community engagements throughout the year, a new record for us. Thanks primarily to emergency COVID funding from Robin Hood Foundation, Stonewall Community Foundation, Brooklyn Community Foundation, DoorDash, Lyft, and Oak Tree Capital, we were able to provide over $70,000 in direct assistance to people impacted by COVID-19. Much of this was given in the form of direct cash assistance, but we also supported people with food, essential hygiene or sanitary needs, transportation costs, or equipment and supplies needed to make a living. The overwhelming majority of clients we helped in this way were transgender identified and BIPOC members of our community. With so much virtual programming, I'm especially proud of how our reach and impact has grown in this fiscal year. For example, our LGBTQ+ fiber crafting group, for those folks into knitting, crochet, cross-stitch, and similar activities, regularly attracts hobbyists from all over the country. Likewise, our peer-driven transgender and gender nonconforming adult support group is one of only a handful of free, well-established groups for the adult trans community that continue to meet in 2021. As such, we've seen people joining us from all over, especially from smaller communities where transgender and gender nonconforming support is harder to come by. Speaking of transgender and gender nonconforming support, you should see our bedside space on Wednesdays. Ever since we brought the Brooklyn Ghost Project on as one of our in-house community partners, their programming led by and in support of trans women of color has been thriving and bringing so much energy back to these long vacant rooms. It's not always easy to put monetary value on the impact we're having or to measure how they've changed lives. We can figure out how much the average yoga class costs, but what value do we assign to the confidence that comes from a professional instructor who not only validates but celebrates your gender identity? To the friends you make in the class, what's it worth to show up fully as yourself and to feel supported and welcomed? I don't always know, but I think it's worth a lot. There are many ways you can support us as we embark on this most exciting adventure together. Your ongoing financial support is always welcome and appreciated. But beyond that, we especially need volunteers, especially to work weekday reception shifts at both locations. especially during daytime operating hours before 5 p.m. You'll find details about that on our website. We're also happy to talk about other ways you can volunteer, such as coordinating a program activity or helping out with handy facilities projects. Another crucial way you can help is by coming in and taking advantage of our programs and services. No, really. Brooklyn Community Pride Center isn't just for LGBTQ+ youth or people struggling to come to terms with their identity. This is your community center, and we host events and programs that are valuable to you. At the very least, we hope you'll stop by the new Crown Heights location and experience the WeWork-style collaborative workspace for yourself, or drop in at our Bed-Stuy location and ask for a tour and a rundown of the programs and services available. And once you've made that visit or 10 visits, be sure to tell people about us. In a borough of 2.6 million people, less than 0.01% of them have ever set foot inside one of our spaces. It's often pointed out that if Brooklyn were its own city, we would be the 4th largest in America by population. Today, I'm proud to say that we are closer than ever before to having the LGBTQ+ center that a great American city deserves. We help connect people around shared interests or challenges. We teach people how to live healthier, more fulfilling, and more authentic lives. We preserve aspects of queer culture and ensure that knowledge is shared from one generation to the next. We are here for you.